What's going on, guys? It's Matt from MattVentures, and it's been about 2 years since I've started on this crazy journey. Now, with 2021 just coming in, it's a whole new year, and as much as I don't believe in this new year, new me kind of stuff, I did think it's the perfect time to launch this video. It's going to be something a little bit different, and I'm going to get into the whole reason why I launched MattVentures and what this project means to me. So this one's going to be quite deep and a little bit different to the stuff I normally make, so hold on while I take you back to the very beginning. Okay, so this is me, or at least it was me back in 2010, and this is where the story starts to get a little bit deep. Now, I don't think I've ever shared this with anyone apart from my closest friends, but I am a firm believer that we should be open and honest and share things, especially when there's a chance for other people to benefit from it. So, here it goes. So this is where I went to school, and in reality probably had some of the worst years of my life. I'm not going to go into too many details, but I was the kind of kid that would befriend all the teachers, that hand in all my work on time, and never got into any trouble. The issue is that I was lacking in the social department. I found it pretty hard to make friends, and in general I was just a pretty shy and awkward kid. And because of this there was a fair bit of bullying. It was mostly emotional, but it did leave me with a pretty low self-esteem. I wasn't that good in sports, and I was always picked last for PE, and even in just social groups during break time, I felt excluded and left out of almost every single thing. Of course, it's not all bad. I did have those one or two friends who were always by my side, and I knew they had my back no matter what. But in the eyes of a 14-year-old, that just isn't enough. When you feel like everyone's against you, that can really hold you back from becoming the person that you want to be. The real shift happened in the summer of 2010, and that's when my friends made it really clear that they didn't want me around. They would organize events on the other part of the island and then tell me to go somewhere else just so that they could make sure I couldn't bug them. And in general, they made it very, very clear that I wasn't wanted. Until one day, they actually called me and said it straight to my face. They said, "Matt, can't you see that no one actually wants you around? You might as well just kill yourself." And for a brief moment, I actually thought about it. I spent what would normally be the best summer of a teenager's life, you know, the one right before you go from school to sixth form, where you have the most freedom. It's 4 months long, and people are usually just going out and doing the most amazing stuff. I spent that summer in bed, most of the time at home, not talking to anyone, not wanting to go out, not wanting to do anything. But of course, life did have to go on, and I eventually was reluctantly pushed into going to applying to different sixth forms. My parents helped me get out of bed, and I ended up applying to De La Salle College, which turned out to be one of the best things I could have possibly done. And at this point, I also got back into scouting. I heard a friend of mine tell all these hardcore stories from the unit where a group of people were just doing so many awesome things, and I'm like, you know, this is something I really have to get into. And with all these things going on, I realized that something had to change. I couldn't be the same person I was just 6 months before. I knew I had some personality flaws which I had to work on, but I also had to give far less importance to what other people thought about me. In sixth form, I really started to come out of my shell. I started going through a metalhead phase, so I grew out my hair, started wearing studs and band t-shirts. But ironically, I also got my happy persona back. I was smiling all the time, and I found it so much easier to make friends. I was part of a couple of different social groups, and even though most of them didn't even like each other, they all considered me as their friend. And that's something I hadn't ever experienced before. It helped me learn how to work in a more social setting and how to deal with people and just make people smile. And at the same time, it was a great experience for me. It made me feel like I could actually do this. I could be a person that people wanted to hang out with. At Scouts is where I learned the true value of teamwork and dedication. We were put into a military system known as Gradex, which split us up into companies or coys. Mine was 5 guys who were working hard together to overcome all sorts of challenges. At some points, we'd even be blindfolded and thrown in the back of a car and dropped off in the middle of nowhere in the middle of the night with nothing but a compass and a map to find our way on a 60-kilometer hike. Now, I don't know about you, but for most people that's pretty intense even as an adult, let alone as a 16-year-old kid. Our directing staff also gave us a number of physical and team building challenges that were designed to push us to our very limits. If we didn't succeed, we'd be met with a number of push-ups and other punishments that would break us down. And the whole system itself was designed to do just that. Break you down, make you feel like you can't do it, and then build you right back up, just like they do in the army. In fact, I'm pretty sure that summer, each and every one of us cried at least once. We all wanted to quit, but we knew that if we did, it would be the others who suffered. And that's why we kept going and we kept pushing forwards. We knew that at the end, once we'd completed our Gradex, we all came out of it so much more confident, not only in ourselves and our own abilities, but also in the people around us and our power to overcome any challenge that life throws our way. we came out with a sense of camaraderie. We all knew each other and we all owed our success to each other. It wasn't an individual thing, we did it as a group, and even though we had to push through our own mental limits, we wouldn't have done it if it wasn't for being there, being united and doing it together. With my newfound love of people, I was ready to take on university. I quickly made a lot of new friends and even formed part of the ICT Students Association, where I became the events coordinator. But my events were so good that the title Pleasure Coordinator kind of stuck instead. At this point, my friends and I were enjoying our newfound adult freedom by booking trips abroad and doing all sorts of crazy adventures even here in Malta. We ended up booking a trip to the Czech Republic only a few months after I got my driver's license, where we drove around the entire country and ended up skiing even though it was the middle of November and everyone said we couldn't. At that point I said I might as well start writing about this. Not only to keep the memories for myself, but also to share them with others so they can get inspired and make their own adventures. Around 5 years ago, I met an awesome girl called Elle, and she quickly became my adventure buddy because she shares that passion for the outdoors and adventure just like I do. In fact, within just a week of knowing each other, we booked our first trip to Bari in Italy, and then another week after that we went to Zakopane in Poland. And then the next summer we booked a 3-month trip to Asia, where Elle was going to be working in Malaysia while I'd be backpacking around the continent. It was going to be an amazing experience, both for us as individuals, myself exploring and trying to see a whole different culture, and for Elle working, doing an important job and helping out the community, but also for us as a couple to share these kind of new experiences, stuff that people rarely get a chance to experience in their lifetime, let alone within 3 months of having met each other. Even our dates were exciting. They usually consisted of hiking, geocaching, and exploring the more undiscovered parts of our island. So every single day became an adventure. Living even in a place where you've been for your whole life can be new and exciting if you just try to do different things. My life at this point had basically taken on the form of one big adventure. I was pushing myself to do the very best I could do in every single thing I tried and seeking adventure in every possible place. I got inspired by content creators like Yes Theory, and their motto of seeking discomfort really stuck with me throughout my life. I also met Nas Daily when he came to Malta by just offering to show him around. And that's where I learned that video was the way forward. That is the way I can get my message across to more people. That's the way I can inspire and share the things I have to say. My aim is to share my passion for the outdoors with everybody. I want to prove that adventure isn't just something for the crazy ones, but that absolutely everyone can benefit from getting outside, pushing the limits of their comfort zone, and doing the things that truly make them happy. One thing that you have to remember is that adventure is subjective. It's different for absolutely everyone, and no two people are the same. So, for example, if for me skydiving is one of the most exciting things I could possibly do, imagine what it's like for a skydiving instructor who does it every single day. It could pretty much become a mundane chore. Everyone has their own levels, everyone has those different feelings. You have to see it as an individual way to express yourself and to do the things that matter to you. The best adventures are actually the ones that happen when we least expect it. If we're just ready to say yes and go with the flow, we're almost guaranteed to have an amazing adventure every single day. We have to remember to surround ourselves with the right kind of people, the ones that love us for who we are and help us overcome our flaws instead of constantly putting us down. And the most important thing is that we focus on being happy. We have to get to know ourselves, and we owe it to ourselves to not waste our time being sad and moping about, but instead be proactive to bring about positive change that's going to get us up out of bed with a smile on our faces and ready to take on any challenge. So that's the message I wanted to share when I start MattVentures, and I hope I've affected at least one person in a positive way, because if I have, then that means it's all been worth it. If this video has helped you, or you think it can help anyone that you know, please feel free to share it. It would mean the world to me, and hopefully we can make someone smile. So let's do that right now. Hit that share button, hit that like button, comment down below what you think. Now, even though this was a really hard video to make, I can say for certain that I'm not only accepting of the past, but I'm actually grateful for it. Because if it wasn't for every single thing that happened to me, I wouldn't be the person I am today. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for sticking it out and watching till the end, and I'll see you in the next one. There's so many awesome things planned for 2021, so please stay tuned for a lot more awesome adventures. Peace out.